Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Two Guys with Four Eyes, the podcast that takes you back in time to discuss the movies of yesteryear. I'm your host, Robert Hollister, and with me always is Ben Palmer.
Big Ben Palmer.
Come with us down under as we take a walkabout with Paul Hogan and celebrate the 30th anniversary of Crocodile Dundee.
Two guys, four eyes, gonna blow your fucking mind.
All right, Ben. So in the news this week, I saw, and you saw as well, that they are going to be following through, Amazon, as in they, will be following through with the Tick television show.
Tick tock. It's
Tick-
about time.
It's time for TikTok.
Time for some TikTok right here.
Yeah.
No,
So,
yeah, it's pretty exciting.
no, actually, Tick has been a recurring
Every
subject.
fucking episode we just talk about Tick.
Not nearly. So yeah, we'll just have the segment TikTok. But yeah, no, I'm really excited, and I'm happy that they're going to be going through with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was the first episode was really good. I liked it, so I'm happy to see that more will be coming, and I'm excited to
To
watch all
have
that.
some TikTok in the future.
Yeah. Now you haven't. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna have to watch Tick in order for us to have this TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I will once it becomes a show.
Oh, okay, that's true. I'm watching. I'm watching Venture Brothers now.
Yeah?
I told you that last week or whatever.
How far into it are you?
I'm in the middle of the fourth season.
Did you catch? I don't remember when it was, but the Scooby Doo episode.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, it was pretty good.
Me and Caleb were talking about it last night and
Yeah.
how creepy they all were. And
Yeah, of Freddy and like
Yeah.
yeah, how he's like it's like he's got them kept like captive and like friggin' like the Scooby character
yeah.
and the Shaggy. And he's like the only one that can hear him or whatever talk.
Well, apparently they based of those characters off of like old like serial killers and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah. And Son of Sam or whatever, he had the
Mhm.
dog tell him to like
Oh
kill people
yeah.
and shit.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
who that character was based on and
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm really enjoying it, and I like how they they have the Scooby Doo gang. Then they also have like
Right.
the Johnny Quest type guy.
Mhm.
Johnny Adventure, I think is what Johnny Action. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Johnny
And,
Action. And
yeah,
they have
so-
the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yeah. The Doctor Strange character. Which speaking of Doctor Strange, it's
Ah,
coming soon, right?
it's not soon enough. Like I said earlier, man, it looks fucking great.
Was it November that's coming out?
Is it? Yeah.
I think it's sometime in November. Let me.
So that's
let's
coming up
look it
soon.
real quick. I'm excited for it. I wasn't at first. Like I mean, I was okay about it. It's Doctor Strange. Not really a big fan of Doctor Strange. I don't really know too much about him. He's got mystic powers and he's got broken hands.
They
But
don't look broken in the movie.
he breaks them. You saw the trailer, right? He gets his hands all smashed up in the
Yeah, but Cumberbatch didn't act it out,
November 4th, which is actually coming up sooner
That's
than
real soon.
real soon. That's like just like a month and
That's it, dude.
maybe like 10 days away. I'm not very good at math. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. That'd be good. I will see that in theaters.
Oh,
And also-
we're gonna see it in theaters.
Oh yeah, and we'll probably talk about it on the show, but not review it though, because we don't talk about new stuff. We talk about old stuff. And also with Doctor Strange coming out in theaters, I saw that Fox and IMAX have set put a deal together, I guess if you want to call it, to release more of Fox's movies, because I guess IMAX and Fox have a thing.
They got a little thing.
I didn't know that, but apparently they do. So
What?
yeah,
So they're
so
trying to make it an open relationship now.
I guess. Well, no, they're making it. Yeah, they're letting the world know, I guess, or maybe the world knew. I just found out, and now you
That's-
just found out because I
that's
just told you. It is.
I didn't know that at all. I also never go to IMAX movies.
I haven't. Yeah, I've been to one. I've seen one movie. I've seen two movies IMAX ever. Tron Legacy.
That's a good one.
It was pretty good. Not the movie, but it was. It was nice to see it. On the big screen. And then I saw Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises. I saw
Uh.
that one in IMAX.
Yeah. How was that in IMAX? Same as a normal theater, I imagine.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But not because of the IMAX. Maybe because of the IMAX. You notice like when it does you notice when they use the IMAX cameras.
Right.
You like it really pops at that point. But no. So IMAX is gonna be releasing a couple movies. The next Maze Runner, which I haven't seen any Maze Runners.
I
and
haven't
don't
either.
plan to.
Are those like teen movies?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
young adult,
Yeah, but aimed,
Otherwise-
aimed for
otherwise
teens,
known as
yeah.
teens. I think.
Teens.
Yeah, tweens.
here's a 32-year-old playing a guy in high school.
Yeah.
He has a backpack on and a 5 o'clock shadow. He's supposed to be 17.
That's, I mean, what is this? What is this, Spider-Man? Get out of here, Toby. No, but and then apparently also with that, and part of the deal is Maze Runner, some other movie, untitled future Fox Marvel movie.
Right. It said Predator too, right?
Predator,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. What is this?
A new Predator?
It just said Predator.
Yeah.
So is it?
What if they showed the original Predator?
That's what I was hoping. I was like, man, they're just gonna re-release Predator in IMAX.
I'd go see it.
I'd see it. That's
Yeah.
gonna be coming around to like some sort of anniversary at some point, right?
It has to. That's
Right? When did that come out? 80 something?
late 80s.
Yeah, it would probably come out like 87. At which point next year's gonna be the 30th anniversary, and then
Yep.
release it in IMAX, and then we can go see Arnold in
Yep.
all of his glory.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
They got you pushing too many pencils. The worst Arnold ever.
That's great.
What else we got? You were talking about Thor earlier.
Yeah. The director, I don't know his fucking name. It's the guy that directed What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just watched that little clip of what Thor was doing during Civil War, and it cracked me up. So, and also saw that Jeff Goldblum's in the movie.
Who is Jeff Goldblum gonna be playing? Do you know?
I have no idea. But now my hopes are a little higher because I've never been really a fan of Thor.
I think Carl Urban's in it. He's playing Scourge. Huh. Oh, we got
Huh.
Valkyrie.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. And it'd be good to see Thor. Thor's okay. He's a good character. I don't mind him like when he's with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I just think that.
He alone though. No.
Well, I think they were trying to take his movies a little too serious,
Mhm.
especially for the rest of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
It's all like comic based essentially.
Sure.
So he was kind of this weird like sore thumb. And of course, when they wrote him into the Avengers, they gave him his funny lines and whatnot. But
Sure.
as far as like his movies standalone,
I like the first Thor movie.
really?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, for what it was.
Eh.
Well, then again, I mean, it was an early Marvel film. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
it
it
was right after the Hulk, right?
uh, no, it was after. I want to say it was after Captain America, right? Or was it after Iron Man 2? I don't know, but it was around the same time.
Yeah, it was one
So,
of the
I
early
mean,
ones. Yeah.
I mean, even like you go back and look at. I mean, shit. You look at Captain America: First Avenger.
Oh.
That's a piece of. I mean,
It's garbage.
It's garbage. Yeah. Like I don't want to. I mean, yeah. You know what?
It's
I like
garbage.
Marvel, but I mean,
Yeah.
they had some hiccups along the way.
Yeah.
Iron Man was great. The first one. Iron Man 2 was not so great.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 was
Ooh.
terrible.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Captain America: First Avenger. When it came out, I thought it was really good. But then you put it. I mean, you compare it to like Civil War.
Yeah.
I mean, it's night and day, man. And Thor hasn't had the opportunity to have that. Like they put Thor by himself in his movies,
Right.
which isn't fair to him. And so like to have him in there with Hulk, and whatnot, that I think will be good for his character, and also give him something to it gives you a little more familiarity,
Yeah.
in the Marvel world, and actually like ties it into it too. So
Right.
there's that, because everyone else that's in. I mean, you get the Warriors 3. They're great, cool, but they don't tie into the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
They're their own things. So, but I do like what this guy's done, as far as like What We Do in the Shadows. That was great. And then his
Yeah.
little short that he did with
What
Thor.
if the whole movie was documentary style? It's so awkward.
Yeah, it would. What if it's like, what if they do go Planet Hulk, but they make it like but imagine, because it's like Planet Hulk, so he's like a gladiator, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like all like game show type, Like imagine that scene from episode 1, right? The pod race scene.
Oh my god.
But imagine that for like an hour and a half.
I don't want to imagine.
But instead
that.
of pod racing, it'll be giant aliens and the Hulk
Fighting,
fighting. Yeah.
Thor sitting on the sideline, just cheering.
Do you think they could bring in? Because I know in the comic books they had Silver Surfer. He came in.
Fox owns him, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does. But in the animated version of Planet Hulk, or he does. Fox does own
Mr. Fox.
Mr. Fox. Fox Mulder owns him, and so but in the animated version of Planet Hulk, they brought in Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I mean, they could use.
It could.
They could. I'd like to see some.
Yeah.
You could throw in like those. If you have a whole planet of aliens, like if they do the Planet Hulk storyline or whatever, um, you can just throw in these characters, and they don't have to have like any backstory or like really even get into it because I mean, no one's gonna really care. I would like to see Beta Ray Bill, but I don't need to know everything about him.
Right.
But that's enough about Thor.
That's
Anything?
enough about
That's enough about
Thor.
Thor. Anything else you want to get into before we get into
Get
get into it?
we're getting in.
Oh, we can get into it.
Let's get y'all in it.
I feel like we should have gotten some Fosters.
We should have.
That would have been appropriate. So this week, Ben.
What are, what are we talking about this week?
Well, we all know what we're talking about. It's in the title, and I already mentioned it. So we're gonna be talking about Crocodile Dundee, which, by the way, once again, put this out there. The show is a big spoiler. So if
Oh
you have
shit.
not seen Crocodile Dundee, don't listen. And if you have seen Crocodile Dundee, I'm sorry. Uh,
Right.
I'd never seen the movie in its entirety. I had seen like some scenes, but I had never seen it from start to finish until today. And boy, let me tell you, it
It's a roller coaster, man.
yeah, it sure is a roller coaster. If that roller coaster
It's the little kid roller coaster.
just goes in a straight, level plane in a very wide,
Yep.
forgiving circle.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So I made the comment to you earlier when we were talking about it, and I
Mhm.
said, I couldn't tell you one thing about the plot. I don't remember the plot of this movie.
Right, and then I
Yeah.
speculated.
And I
I
mean,
was sort of right
now that I've seen it, there's a reason I didn't remember the plot.
because
There
there
isn't one.
there is none. Do you want me to break it down real quick?
Break it down.
All right, I'm gonna break it down real quick. Real quick. Okay.
Real quick.
So, uh, news reporter Sue is,
Hottest piece of ass in New York State.
according to her father, she's over in Australia covering some story when her boyfriend Richard wants her to come home, but she says, "No, wait, I have to stay longer. There's a man who got his leg bitten off by a crocodile and survived, and I have to interview him. He runs a touring service called Never Never Tours or Walkabouts or whatever,
Yeah.
and I have a meeting with him. I'm gonna go see him."
Yep.
Richard says, "Fine, go do it. Get
Oh,
the
and
story."
he also pays for her to take a helicopter over there for some reason.
They have tons of money.
I know, but isn't she just bleeding the newspaper dry at this point? Like
I mean, apparently it started selling a lot of copies once she started writing about this guy,
a lot of hard copies.
right? Well, that's all they had back in the day. They didn't hard copy. Remember that show?
Yep.
So, all
Sure
right,
do.
to knock it out real quick. So she goes, meets with Michael J. Crocodile Dundee.
Yep.
I put quotes up around crocodile, just so you know.
Quikey.
His name's not really Crocodile. What's a J stand for? Did they ever go into that? It's probably Johan. Maybe Jules.
That
Michael.
should be Jules.
Yeah, right. So he goes by McDundee. We'll call him that from now on. Or I doubt we're gonna call him Crocodile. We'll call him Paul Hogan for all we fucking
He's
care.
fucking Paul the Hulk Hogan.
So she goes, meets up with them, and then they go out in their excursion.
Yep.
Into the wilderness, where she learns that
He didn't get his leg bit off.
he didn't get his leg. Oh yeah, she realizes that he didn't get his leg bit off. That it's all just a story. He got bit by a crocodile while he was possibly poaching them.
Yep, they never
Never really get into it.
get into that.
So they go out. They're out in the wilderness. She learns that she can't be on her own because she's a woman. Then
Because she's a Sheila.
she's a Sheila, exactly, and so she has some conflicts out there. He has to kill an alligator for her.
Yep.
They run into some actual poachers that are killing kangaroo, uh, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Then that's part of my crack the can. Uh, so there's that, and then she has feelings for him for no reason, and decides to take him back to New York.
Yep.
Which, by the way, this is now halfway through the movie, and then he comes to New York, fish out of water.
Yep.
They continue hanging out. They go to all these parties. Really, no story at all.
He's just floating around New York.
Just floating around New York, and then boyfriend proposes. He decides to leave Crocodile Dundee
Yeah,
decides to leave. He's like, screw this, I'm
I'm
out of
going on
here.
a walkabout.
Going on a walkabout, mate. And she finds him.
Yep.
Then they kiss.
Yep.
Freeze frame. The end.
Literally freeze frame.
That's the movie,
They didn't
right?
even kiss at the end, by the way.
Oh,
They
I'm
hugged.
sorry. Yeah.
And
Is
yeah,
that's it,
that's
right?
it. That's the entire
She
movie.
just goes to Australia to
Picks
tell
him
the
up.
story of him, takes him back to New York, and then that's it.
Yep.
Like there's no antagonist. There's no conflict
Nope.
really,
Nope.
besides little minor conflicts along the way. But even then, it's not like
It's nothing that isn't resolved within 5 minutes of the movie.
yeah. And like I get like he's supposed to be like this awesome badass, and I guess that's the point. Here's the thing. Because okay, now this movie was written by Paul
Paul
Hogan,
Hogan.
right?
Yeah.
Now, see, it makes me wonder, right? Just wrote a story about he himself and just some Australian being super awesome, and that's it. And
Yeah.
and then no one said to him, no one bothered to say, "Hey, Paul,
This movie makes no fucking sense, Paul.
well, Sheila."
What the fuck?
But yeah, so I mean, is there anything I'm missing on this, or
No, that's literally the story.
that's it, huh?
I'm taking a picture of this.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. We can that way. Yeah, that way you viewers at home.
Viewers?
Well, you listeners can be viewers if you check out our Instagram
Yep.
at
Um,
the two guys. Whatever, we'll talk about it later.
Shameless self promotion.
Shameless. Hey, we have to. But yeah, that's a movie, huh?
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
it.
movie.
I read he was a truck driver before this.
I thought he was a comedian.
No, he wasn't even an actor.
Well, he
he
had a
acted in commercials.
well,
apparently.
he had the Paul Hogan show in like the early '80s, and that's what he
Yeah,
did.
he did like um a series of commercials that I read.
Here's the tagline for this movie, by the way.
Oh,
You ready for the tagline? The Wizard of Oz hits the Big Apple.
what?
Yeah. Oz. AUZ.
Oh,
Like Australia. Get it?
the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. That's really dumb. Uh so yeah, what was Paul Hogan, by the way, I was looking up other things he had written and done, which by the way it's all the same movies. Crocodile Dundee 1, 2, and 3, and then also 1994's Lightning Jack. Remember that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Oh my god. Not, I mean, not really, but he wrote that.
Yeah, and he
Ah,
started it, obviously. 'Cause
yeah, of course.
that's all he did.
Let's break it wide open.
So when Sue goes to meet up with his partner
Walter. Yeah.
Walter Riley, uh, he mentions, so you're prepared and okay to pay the $2,500 to go on this like trip or whatever, and she's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Which I mean that's '80s money.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of money back.
$2,500 in the '80s was, yeah, it's a substantial amount of cocaine you could be buying.
Yeah, I mean, that's for what? To sleep out on the dirt for 3 nights?
It's a walkabout, you know.
They can walk anywhere. So there's that. And then he obviously he had embellished the story of him getting attacked by the crocodile.
Right.
It was just like a little scratch on his leg. He could have fallen on his bicycle. He could have cut himself while he was drunk. Who knows? But
It's that giant ass knife he carries around.
yeah, right. So there's that where they're obviously just trying to get money from her and they're happy about it.
Yeah.
And then when he doesn't know how to tell time by the sun, but he pretends to
Yep.
make himself
He
look good.
pretends to shave with his knife,
Right.
even though he's using a razor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But see, then, oh, and yeah, they find the bullets in the boat.
So is he a
Poacher?
Is he a
We don't-
poacher?
We don't know.
I think he is.
Yeah.
But then he's
But then he's also a super badass simultaneously while pretending to be a super badass.
I don't know, man.
Like when he meets up with his tribal buddies and he tells her she can't come, she points the camera at him and he just looks at her
Yeah.
like from across this field,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "How'd you know?"
What?
And
Are you psychic? Is that
yeah,
what she asked him? Yeah.
and well, and it just does all these badass things. Like he catches all kinds of shit, like fish and iguanas, and kills
Right.
that giant gator that
He-
tries to fucking murder her.
Yeah. What is she doing, man?
Yeah.
Like
So if you're in the brush,
you're in the bush,
Oh, the bush.
Mm,
Sorry, not a brush.
You're in the bush.
Um, he leaves her alone. Oh, it's when Sheila decides she doesn't want to be a Sheila.
Yeah.
Her name's not Sheila, but I'm calling her Sheila
Yeah. Okay.
because she is a fucking Sheila.
Yeah, because she claims that
She's like, I could do it.
she's trying to say to him that she knows what it would be like to be. She thinks she understands what it's like to be out there alone, and she can
Hmm.
imagine what it would be like. And he says, "No, you wouldn't last 5 minutes." And she's like, "Well, I'll show you."
Yeah, and
So
then she leaves.
she goes off on her own. Yeah,
So he just stalks her,
creepily.
very creepy. Like,
Yeah.
what?
So
Yeah, and so then she's by herself, and she's like, I've been walking. It's hot. Strips down, and then
to her super
weird
awkward
bikini, or no,
one
one piece.
monokini one piece,
It was the '80s, man. I don't try and
super thongy,
yeah.
right?
I
That
don't.
thing came up to her shoulders.
Oh yeah, her asshole was eating it.
Ah,
It's weird.
munching down.
Um,
So
but yeah, she's just in the bush by herself, strips down to that, and
Mhm.
then walks over to a fucking body of water with lily pads and vines and shit,
Yep.
and decides she's just gonna splash her face off.
And then get some drinking water.
Oh yeah, and fills her canteen up.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I don't know.
And
It
of
just,
course, like a fucking dude, the gigantic gator.
it was huge, dude. I mean, it didn't scare me because I'm a man, but I'm sure it scared her because she's a Sheila.
Fucking Sheila got scared.
Dude, she did, man. You see her face? And then he just jumps out of the bushes and just stabs that thing right in the head.
Right in the head.
Right in the head. And that's it. Proving, like I said, that women are no good in the wilderness. Way to go, 80s. Way to hold them down.
Yep.
So
Sheila's can't do anything.
so he is proficient as far as like that kind of stuff goes,
right.
but then he's not in other ways.
Yep.
So does
he's
he
also
lie?
he's also great at bar fights. He
He's-
knocks that one guy out in one hit.
He knocks many people out
Yeah.
in one
he
hit.
does.
He's really good at punching people.
Not even fighting, just punching one time.
He's no good at fighting. He fights at the he fights
Oh,
those three
yeah.
guys and he gets knocked down. He gets hit in the face.
Yep.
He gets to get saved. Yeah. So I don't know. Any good things? What did you like about this? Did you like anything about this?
Some of the humor actually hit. Like,
Yeah.
there were definitely parts I laughed at. Like I don't, just the classic like fish out of water once he comes to New York.
Yeah. Okay.
Like some of the stuff was actually like kind of funny.
Yeah, when he's trying to figure out the bidet.
Yeah. The
Yeah, that was
bidet
pretty good.
Scene was good.
Yeah, even like the escalator. You
Yeah.
know. You know.
When he grabs the transvestite's dick,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was a good scene.
That was good stuff, man. And even making comment like, oh, so many people live in this city. They all, so close together. They all must be so friendly. Like not having any idea of like the outside world.
Yeah.
There's some good parts like that, but then it just gets ruined by a lot of bad stuff. And do you want to get into that bad stuff right now?
Yeah.
All right.
So, and we like to call this segment "Cracks the Can."
All right, Ben. You want to start off?
Yeah, sure. So, of course, the movie had a lot of cheese and it had a lot of problems. Also had a lot of good things. So I only wrote down a few little moments that really bugged me because, as we said, like overall the movie is pretty shitty.
It's really not a. It's not. I wouldn't say it's shitty. It's just.
It's not well.
It just.
put
I would say.
together.
I would just say it exists.
Yeah.
Like it is.
All right. So anyway, here's my first one.
Okay.
So your classic scene or quote from the movie that everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a knife.
No.
This is a knife, or
Is-
whatever, And he pulls it.
Yeah.
So pretty much they're standing outside of the hotel. A guy comes up, asks him for a light, and then he pulls out a switchblade and he says, "And give me your fucking wallet."
Yeah.
And
And she's like, give me.
Sue, Sheila,
Yeah. Give me.
being
wallet.
a typical Sheila, give me your wallet.
Yeah.
He's got a knife. Yeah. That scene.
Yeah. That's not a knife. This
Yeah.
is a knife.
So of course the joke's there. The scene was written around that joke.
I
It's
feel like
great.
we're just butchering this quote, by the way.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't fucking.
We're ready.
Paul Hogan, I'm sorry, because I
Sorry.
know you're listening.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy.
He Googles himself every day and finds this podcast.
That'd be nice.
So anyway,
Yeah. What's your problem with this scene?
My
'Cause I don't-
problem-
I don't have any problem with this scene.
my problem with the scene is the way it plays out. So the mugger is holding a knife to him,
Sure.
and she's like, "Oh, give me your wallet,"
Mhm.
and he's like, "Ah," and he reaches and grabs this fucking gigantic Bowie knife. If you're a guy holding a knife to someone, you're not gonna let him just whip a giant knife out on you. So then he whips the knife out. So that's whatever. I was like, all right, worst mugger ever.
Sure.
And then he just stands there and lets Paul Hogan fillet his fucking jacket.
His sweet Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah, he literally just stands there and lets him do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Terrible scene,
I'd
man.
be
It was fucking terrible.
look, man. I'd probably piss my pants if Paul Hogan pulled a giant fucking blade on me. All right. And I imagine that he's probably not wanting to. The mugger probably wasn't trying to resort to violence. He was probably just using intimidation. But when he was threatened back,
Right.
and how are you gonna react to that? A lot of muggers and burglars and stuff, they don't want to hurt, kill,
Do you
injure.
know this firsthand?
I am a professional
And
burglar.
and I never want to hurt anyone.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want to take your stuff.
Just give me your stuff.
Just give it up. I don't even carry a weapon most of the time.
Is that your voice? Give it up.
Just give me your things. Come on.
Stick 'em up.
But yeah, no, I'm not a mugger, but I could be, and you'd never know. So
I do now.
watch your backs, America.
backs.
Your collective back.
So all right, we'll trade off. You
Okay.
give me one of yours.
So okay, so I mentioned that. So one of the few conflicts in this movie is, I guess, like a moral conflict, sort of like when they're in the
Did you say a mortal conflict?
a moral conflict.
Mortal conflict.
No, moral conflict. So when they're out and doing their walkabout thing, and
Right.
they come across a group of people that are out there just shooting at kangaroos.
The poachers.
The
yeah.
poachers, yeah, they're shooting kangaroos, but right before this, Sue asks, McDundee, Crocodile, whatever. She asked, what are your opinions on these things? What do you care about type thing? He doesn't seem to care about anything.
Right. She
Like-
asked him about nuclear war.
Yeah,
Arms race. He's
mhm,
like,
arms race. He doesn't
who
care
gives a
about.
shit.
Yeah. What about the Aborigines? Should they, and the people taking their land? He's like, well, they don't own the land, which he actually does make a good point with that.
Yeah.
Like no one owns it. These rocks will be here like when we're long gone. So why bother arguing about who owns it, because it
Yeah, yeah.
owns us, type of thing. Which was I thought was pretty cool, but he seems to have no real moral grounds or standings anywhere. No
Yeah.
real moral opinion. So when these poachers are shooting the kangaroos, and she says to him, well, what are you gonna? You get to stop them, and he says, well, there's no crime against it. It's not against the law.
Yeah.
And she kind of gives him a look, and he's like, ugh. And so what he does is he picks up a dead kangaroo
Yep.
and he holds it up
In front of him.
in front of himself.
Yep.
And then the poachers, they see this and they're like, check out that kangaroo, and they go to shoot it, but then they say, look out, he's got a gun. And then he just starts shooting at these poachers from behind this dead kangaroo,
Yep.
holding it as if it's his own private murder puppet.
Yeah.
And it's just, and she's okay. Sue's like,
Yeah. It actually
know?
charmed her. She was like,
Yes.
oh wow.
she's smitten by this. Like, you held that dead. Why don't they eat the kangaroo, by the way?
He turned that kangaroo into a fucking Kermit the Frog. Like just
Yeah.
just
right?
straight up like
Just-
wore it like a Muppet, dude.
Was he inside of it? What if he just
He split it like a tauntaun. and
Tauntaun just
fucking-
climbed inside and just started mowing down these poachers? But no, it was just she was okay with it. She actually liked it. It was not okay. And then, by the way, that was the end of them, the poachers, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's the end of that
Oh.
conflict. I thought there was going to be a further conflict in the movie, but
Nope.
nope. Because we had run into this guy earlier in the
at
movie
the bar.
at the bar. Yeah,
He got one hit KO'd.
yeah. Which, by the way, this guy, he was given Crocodile Dundee. He was giving Crocodile Dundee shit about being
A poacher.
a poacher. Yet here he is out in the bush,
Slaughtering
just
kangaroos.
which, by the way, how'd they get all the way out there? Because they had to take a boat,
It doesn't matter.
and then there's out there in their trucks.
It's the bush, man. There's multiple ways around shit.
I guess you're right. What else you got?
All right, I was gonna bring up the Carl throwing the boomerang thing, but
Oh, we should probably mention when you say Carl
Yeah.
that this movie, of course, makes a special appearance by Carl Winslow himself.
Carl Winslow
His name's obviously not Carl Winslow. I just looked his name up just a
or
moment ago.
Al
Or
from
Al.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
He's Carl Winslow, man. Everyone knows him from Family Matters.
Family Matters, yeah. But his real name, his actual real name is pretty cool. It's
This is cool as
Reginald Vell Johnson. He played Gus in this movie.
Yep.
He was a driver,
Yep.
so he was just another character in uniform,
Yep.
just like when he was character in uniform in Ghostbusters, and Al character in uniform in Die Hard and Die Hard 2,
Yep.
and
And
then
character in uniform in the entirety of Family Matters.
and then he was. Did you know he was in a recent episode of It's Always Sunny?
Was he?
Yeah, he
I
played
didn't know that.
I think I might have watched the episode, but yeah, just this year he played a judge because he plays judges a lot too. By the way, he just
You know.
he's just a man of authority, except for when he's a driver in this movie. But anyway, so you're gonna talk about it, but why not?
I was going to. All right.
Then
So
you,
the
but then
scene.
you realize it's an awesome scene.
It's not awesome, but I don't. It's the '80s. Like I didn't really think about like every '80s movie has these fucking ridiculous like action scenes that don't make any sense.
Yeah, where they have that thing that can't be a weapon but becomes one
Right.
type thing.
Yeah. It's like a Jason Bourne movie. Like everything's a weapon. But anyway, yeah. So there's there's a fight. Paul. What do I just want to call him Paul.
You can call him
Paul
Paul.
Dundee. Yeah, he's
Mick
kind
Dundee,
he's kind
Paul
of getting
Hogan.
his ass kicked by these three guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Carl just mows a guy down with a car.
Yeah.
Just runs him over
Yep.
and gets out. And the back of it is back with. Do they still make those antennas? Like the antenna is shaped like a boomerang.
I don't know. It's like a spoiler type thing, isn't it? Isn't it?
I think it's an antenna.
Yeah,
Like limos have them.
like a
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, they still.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still
So
exist.
he rips it off and chucks it like a boomerang.
Yep.
Not like he chucks it and it is a boomerang.
Yep.
And clocks this guy down the alley.
Pretty sure he kills him.
Probably splits his fucking head open.
Well,
And he bleeds out in the alley.
Well, you notice because it cuts to the scene of them looking down at him for a very long
That's true.
time,
they're
and he's just
chatting up.
he's
yeah.
just motionless,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he's dead now.
Yep.
So good for that. Good
Yeah.
for Gus.
So I was gonna bring up how ridiculous that was, but it's whatever. That doesn't count on my crack the can list anymore.
Because it's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the
It's
more.
pretty badass.
But I wish it was Dundee that threw it because he's from Australia. It's
Yeah.
a fucking boomerang. Maybe it was written for him, but they needed Carl Winslow to have a badass scene.
Do you think maybe there's like an extended cut of this movie, or like maybe scenes that weren't shot where maybe Gus and McDundee maybe kind of were more buddy buddy? Think Chris Rock and Chris Farley and Beverly Hills Ninja,
Yeah.
where he helps him become like a whatever. He teaches him some ninja ways. Maybe he was teaching him some ways of the Bushmen,
That's
of the
true.
Aborigines, because he does believe that he's a tribesman, simply because he's black, which it's the 80s.
Yeah, it is the
It's
80s.
fine.
You gotta let stuff like that
You
go.
you can say things. You can be like that. You can just be
Women are Sheila.
women or Sheila. So you mentioned this craft the can moment. You mentioned this already when they're at the bar, and he's trying to seal the deal with this fine piece, and it turns out
Right.
it's actually a man
Just-
in drag.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't believe this when he's told by his compadre,
Yeah, he's like, hey man, that's a dude.
That's a dude. And
Yeah.
he's like, no way. Or
Is
no,
that how he said it?
no, I'm sorry. He'd be more like, ain't no way, mate.
Uh,
Right?
Why are we so bad at Australian
I don't
accents?
know, man. So bad at it. So he's like,
Crikey.
crikey, no blooming way.
No bloomin' way.
No blooming way. So in order to find out for himself, he just goes over and just gooses this person.
Just grabs the dick.
Just grabs it.
Yep.
Grabs a dick. And then what's he call him? What's he call them? A bag of bastards? What?
Yeah. So yeah, when he grabs the dick,
Yeah.
the trainee runs out like,
Sure.
"Ugh," and everyone in the bar just starts laughing.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "You all knew, you bag of bastards," which is a great line.
Yeah.
Why is that in your crack the can moment? You don't like that he just grabbed that dude's dick?
No, it's just like, you know what? I just thought it was insensitive, man.
It was the '80s. We were just talking about this.
You're right.
Everything's insensitive.
Yeah.
The guy even actually, as the trainee ran out, his cab driver friend's like, "It's a fag."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it was the
Yeah,
80s,
and I
and you
was
can
like,
say things like that.
Jesus.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
Like you don't. I mean, do you hear that kind of talk in movies these days?
No, nobody says fag in movies anymore.
Should we be saying it?
Well, we're quoting the movie.
Yeah, you're right. We're not just then.
I'm not calling you a fag.
Jeez, man, you're getting close to it.
Getting real close.
you're on This close,
Woo!
man.
Oh, pump the brakes on it.
You're right. All
All
right,
right.
so moving on.
My last one is gonna, I think, bring us towards the end of this anyway,
Okay, great.
because it's the end of the movie.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All
Well,
right.
so really the entire ending is a crack the can moment.
Oh yeah. Do you want to just recap the entire ending, maybe?
Go for it.
Okay. The night after Richard proposed to Sue and McDundee decides that he's gonna just get out of town,
Yeah.
he checks out of the hotel and he's not answering any of his calls, so Sue can't get in touch with him, and he decides that he's gonna leave the hotel and go on his own little private walkabout through America, type thing. So the doorman tells him, 2 blocks down the way, you get on the subway and you take it down to Grand Central. That'll take you anywhere you want to go. And he says, "Great, cool, whatever."
Yep.
So then 5 minutes later, Sue shows up looking for McDundee, Crocodile, and the doorman says, "Hey, just 2 blocks down the way,
Just two,
two
short blocks.
2 short blocks down the way. He's gonna get on the subway. You better hurry." So
Yep.
she starts on her way. She's wearing heels. So she starts on her way down to the subway station. However, midway through her voyage, she has to kick her heels off and just run. And she doesn't run 2 blocks. She runs probably like 2 miles.
They literally don't stop cutting. They show her run over 2 blocks.
And then she finally gets down to the platform of the subway, but she can't get across because there's too much of a crowd waiting to get on the train.
Yep.
Which is when she has a conversation through two different gentlemen to get McDundee's, Michael, Crocodile's attention,
And confess her love.
confess her love, tell him that she's not
Married.
she's
blah,
not going to marry
blah,
Richard
blah.
and that she loves him.
So he hears the news, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? Tell her I love her. Actually, I'll tell her myself.
I'm coming over.
I'm coming over." And so they wrote the scene where the entire subway is so packed that not a person can walk through a crowd. It's
Nope.
that packed.
Yeah.
Never seen that before in my life.
Nope.
But anyway, that's how they wrote it. So it's like, okay,
Like, you mean you've never seen it in real life?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been in a crowd
I've
where
been to New York subways, and
yeah.
I just don't believe that's possible that you can't maneuver through a crowd.
You're like, if you're one person,
Yeah.
one person in a sea of people, you can get around in it. You can get through it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to get through it because he what, Ben?
He just fucking gets hoisted up by everyone around him,
Mm-hmm.
and he literally just starts head walking.
Yep.
Well, head walks all the way across the fucking subway platform, like, and no one has a problem with it.
Nope.
He's
They're
literally-
encouraging it.
yeah.
They smile.
They're all
as-
cheering as he's going across, and it literally zooms in on him stepping on people's fucking faces.
on their heads, yeah, and they're
They're like,
loving it.
Oh
Dude.
no, go, man.
But like, here's the thing: if they're all so happy with him stepping on them, why don't they just move out of the fucking way?
They can't. There's no room.
And wouldn't it be like, look, hey man, hey, stop stepping on my head. Why don't you just like lay on your back,
Yeah,
man?
crowd surf
We'll crowd
across.
surf you, man.
Yeah, you don't have to head walk like an asshole.
Yeah.
Gee, and he's wearing boots.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not good for anybody.
It's not good at all.
Horrible scene.
So, but he does it.
Yeah,
It's dumb.
it's so dumb. And then he jumps down, everyone's cheering, and they hug, and you freeze frame, and that's the end of the movie.
Now, it's the second time, by the way, in this movie that he is shown to be unable to maneuver through a crowd of people. Because there's that scene earlier when he's trying to get
Yeah,
down
yeah.
the sidewalk and he has to end up climbing up on top of the trash can, and then
Yep.
he
Gets
gets
a
saved.
ride from a horse cop.
Yeah,
Stupid.
he can't. Crowds of people, his only
Can't do it.
weakness, I guess. He can kill alligators left and right, but he
Can't
can't.
He can one punch anybody who comes across.
He can, man.
He should just knock everyone out as
He
he's
should.
walking.
He just punch his way through. That's what I would do if I was
Yeah.
him. But hey, you know what? I'm not, and I'm glad because he sucks in the end. He doesn't know what a bidet is, and he looks old and craggly.
Old Craggly.
Old-
Well, he's sun weathered, man. He's actually Australian. So.
Yeah, I know. He looks like it. He looks like he's made of leather.
Did we cover it? We cover all the bases of this movie?
I think so. Yeah. You want to go ahead and give this? You want to go ahead and rate this thing?
I'm gonna say don't.
Yeah. I'm gonna say don't as
Yeah,
well.
it's and it's not like a hard like never watch this. But
Yeah, it's not-
it was not a fun. We literally were watching it, and I'm like, how fucking long is this movie?
It felt forever.
And it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it felt like it was just going on forever.
The pacing is fucking terrible.
Well, because it doesn't. It
There's
doesn't.
no climax.
It doesn't lead to anything.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
there's no conflict. There's no resolution because there's no conflict.
No.
It's just this shitty sort of love story.
Like, I thought maybe there'd be like some problem between he and Richard once Sue decided to leave Richard for him,
But you
but
never even see
you
Richard.
don't even. Nope, that's it.
She's just like,
So, like I said, it
it's a don't.
it is.
It's a movie that exists.
It's so whatever it
And
is.
it's
100.
also 30 years
It's
old.
97 minutes of stuff.
It's 30 years old from yesterday?
Yep,
Yep.
yesterday was the 30th anniversary. So congratulations, Crocodile Dundee, for being 30 years old, spawning 2 sequels, and for having no fucking story.
Yep. There it is. The golf
There it is.
clap.
There it is. All right, so that about does it for us. You can find us on wherever you found us, which let us know how you found this. If you're listening, that'd be good to know. That'd be exciting. But we are on Instagram. You can find us at Two Guys with Four Eyes. We're also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Two Guys with Four Eyes, and YouTube at youtube.com/ whatever it is. There's
QYLW4.
just search Two Guys with Four Eyes. We show up.
Do we? Are we like the first thing that pops up?
We do. We show up.
Two guys with 4 eyes, and we're the first result.
There is a video actually called Two Guys with Four Eyes. But yeah, we show up. Our channel shows up like right away.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just search for us there. You can find us. Anything check it out. Like, subscribe, share with friends, family. Secret monsters that hide under your bed.
Yep.
Imaginary spacemen that live in your brain.
Do you have those too?
Didn't we all?
Holy shit.
Oh god. Well, let's go purge ourselves of these crazy men that live inside of us.
That's true. Thanks for listening, you bunch of Sheilas.
G'day, mate.
God, we're terrible at it. We're fucking terrible at it.